This is insane, by the way, that this is happening in real time right now. I've seen the worst that life has to offer, but I won't let it bring me down. I'll rise up and prosper.
And I understand the entertainment value of this. At this level, it's entertaining. Wait until they can put avatars. Notice a lot of you are interested in our talks about technology and artificial intelligence. A lot of you are watching, but only about 4% are actually subscribing. So 96% of y'all hit that subscribe and like button so you can be updated whenever we have new releases. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Help Me Understand with Dr. Thomas Jeffrey. In this particular episode, we're going to be talking about what is Chat GPT, or watching a video rather, of what is Chat GPT and who's behind it. The creator of the video is Valuetainment. Thought that there were some really interesting points that were made in this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at it.
So I want you to think about you're in ninth grade, you're in class, the principal, you recognize the voice, gets on the intercom and reads the following statement to everybody. Do not use Chat GPT or any other automated writing tool for school papers. This is cheating and will not be tolerated. If you're caught using Chat GPT or any other automated writing tools for school papers, there will be serious consequences. This is an actual statement that a principal said about...
I'm only laughing because as a parent and as a teacher, you're almost inviting folks to like, oh, really? Well, let me check that out.
Chat GPT. Where was Chat GPT when we were in high school? Can you imagine some of these papers? By the way, in a minute, I'm going to go on the website. There's two things we're going to search on this website, Chat GPT, that got 1 million users in 5 days. We're going to test two things. One, I'm going to search, write a rap song as if Tupac would write it. Two, I'm going to say, I want a paper written on the Iranian Revolution written by Donald J. Trump's voice. Let's see what it says. Having said that, what the hell is Chat GPT? Let's learn about it.
All right.
So let's get right into it. By the way, just out of curiosity, who do you think is behind this Chat GPT? Meaning, who do you think started the company in 2015? What if I told you a guy named Sam Altman and another guy named Elon Musk were the co-chairs when they first started the company? And some of the names of people that committed to giving $1 billion to this nonprofit were Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, Jessica Livingston. They brought a CTO from Stripe named Greg Brockman, and they brought the world leading expert in machine learning. On top of that, it's almost like saying the Justice League of computer scientists. The most brilliant minds came together and saying, what can we do to innovate and advance OpenAIs in ways no one's ever seen before? And that's exactly what they've done. So now you may be asking, so Pat, what's the big deal about ChatGPT?
One of the investors, if you will, was excluded is Microsoft. And Microsoft, they not only invested early on in the nonprofit piece of it, and when I say invest, I don't mean just give some money, but actually giving computing power to this OpenAI. And again, remember, OpenAI is doing both the Chat GPT and the Dall-E program, all based on this GPT 3.5. For layman's terms, it's an AI algorithm that allows us to look at large language databases, then train the model how to work, and train it by creating dialogue so that people are looking at this Chat GPT and they're saying, okay, well, this is how the right response should be, or if you want it more formal, here's what. And so they create these templates, and then it's just finding the most appropriate word based on the algorithm, finding the most algorithmically appropriate or highest ranking word that fits, and then putting it in that space. According to an article in Fortune, Microsoft Corporation is investing $10 billion in OpenAI. Now, this is going from the nonprofit to the profit portion of this. The article continues and says, Microsoft, which has already plowed $1 billion into OpenAI in 2019 and invested again in 2021, is seeking an inside edge on some of the most popular and advanced artificial intelligence systems as it competes with Alphabet Inc., which is Google, Amazon, Meta platform, in order to dominate the fast-growing industry. Not just the folks that were just mentioned, largely investing as a charity or as a nonprofit, rather, not a charity. But now that they're going public and they're creating a for-profit, we're seeing investors like Microsoft, who is already part of that, and now they're really getting involved with supporting.
I mean, don't we already have Google? What's the difference between this and Google? I mean, it can't be better than Google, right? So let me give you a visualization. Imagine you go to a library. Google is you go in and say, hey, I would like to read a book on the history of the Iranian Revolution. No problem, here's a book, go read it. That's Google. You go to Chat GPT, you're gonna say, hey, can you give me the summary of what happened in the Iranian Revolution? Yes, here you go. It just gives it to you. Here, you go do it yourself. Here, I'm going to interact with you. And by the way, in Google, you're talking to a website. In ChatGPT, it's as if you're talking to a human being writing back to you in a conversational style. Okay.
Again, I keep bringing this up because I think it's something we have to think about as a society and how we interact with computers, tools, machines. The more we give them a human form, how we interact, communication, the more human-like it becomes.
Put it to you this way, New York Times just came out with an article saying this is a code red for Google. And Elon Musk said in a tweet, this is scary good. We're not far from dangerously strong AI.
Google's on red alert. Google's on red alert because Microsoft has just invested heavily in this. It's not just investing in, here's some money, spend it wisely, but it's also investing from a standpoint of use our machines, use our networking, use our infrastructure, if you will, to create this. One thing to always consider, and we know this just when we lose our phone, is how difficult it is to change devices, how difficult it is to go from where all your stuff is and migrate that over. It's almost like once you're locked in, you're locked in. And TechCrunch says this: Microsoft owned GitHub jointly and developed and launched Copilot, a code-generating AI system, and Microsoft has incorporated OpenAI innovations, including GPT-3 and Dall-E 2, into apps and services like Power Apps, Microsoft Edge, and the forthcoming Designer. Okay, still, why should Google be concerned? Well, they should be concerned because Chat GPT is going to also be incorporated into Bing. Now, I don't know, now that's the embedded search in Explorer or Edge or what, yeah. And so what the implications is that now this artificial intelligence, human conversational type of chatbot is going to be incorporated into Microsoft products. And people that want that and find that compelling in terms of what they would from a user experience, why would you go to Google? Why not go to Bing?
So let's see what happens if I type in write a song like Tupac. Let's see what it says. Okay. By the way, just so you know, the website's already crashed. While I'm searching it, it already crashed. It's constantly crashing. You can read about this. So now write a song like Tupac. Let's see what it says. It's doing it for me right now. Here's a sample Tupac-inspired song. Keep in mind that I'm a huge language model and do not have personal experience or feelings, or so my lyrics not capture the same emotion or depth as Tupac's work. Now, verse 1. I was born in the gutter, raised in the streets. Mama was a hustler, daddy was deceased. I had to fend for myself, no time to sleep. The only way to survive was to stay on my feet. I'm a warrior, I won't back down. I fight for what I believe, won't let them push me around. I'm a soldier, I won't give in. I'll stand tall even when it feels like the world is caving in. This is insane, by the way, that this is happening in real time right now. I've seen the worst that life has to offer, but I won't let it bring me down. I'll rise up and prosper. I've been knocked down, but I won't stay on the ground. I'll get back up and I'll wear a crown. I'm a warrior, I won't back down, and it keeps going back to it. It's doing it right now. Well, by the way, this is still going. It's still going by itself. It's writing the song in a minute. How crazy is this, Mario?
What's fascinating, and I understand the entertainment value of this, and I'm looking forward to what Chat GPT comes up with for the Trump Iran thing. But at this level, it's entertaining. Wait until they can put avatars. So if you don't think that other companies are going to be clamoring for this, I mean, think about how frustrating it is to use a chat bot right now. I mean, this isn't just entertainment. If you've ever if you've ever interacted with a chat bot for customer service, it can be, because of that mediation, you know there's a robot behind there, but there's not. It's almost toneless. It's almost, here's the facts. It tries to do things like create a conversational style, like how are you today, that sort of thing. Well, what about when you can actually imbue this sort of thing with an avatar?
Write a paper on Iran revolution, and make it sound like Donald Trump. The Iranian Revolution was a huge deal, folks. It was a time of great upheaval and turmoil in the Middle Eastern country of Iran. The revolution was led by Ayatollah Khomeini, who was a very dishonest and corrupt man. He was supported by many radical Islamic groups, and they were all determined to destroy the great and peaceful country of Iran. Under the leadership of Khomeini, the Iranian people were subjected to all sorts of horrors. It's still going, it's still writing it. I mean, what are you going to write a paper for? FYI, you know what's happening, the whole thing with the principal saying you cannot use this anymore? So teachers are starting to realize that kids are using ChatGPT. There's a website called Quillbot, which you'll go here and get the paper. Then you take it from there, put it on Quillbot. Then Quillbot makes it seem like you wrote it, so the school cannot track it. And then you submit it in, and the teacher has to believe that you wrote it or somebody else wrote it, but they can't track it. I mean, do you realize how big of a disruption this is for copywriters, for schools, for teachers, for professors? How are you going to know?
He uses the word disruption. And I appreciate that, because sometimes I can have a very cynical view. I try not to use the word pessimistic. I can have a very cynical view about what's going on. It is disruptive. We got back from the winter break in here at the college, and everybody was talking. Now, everybody was talking about it before, but all of a sudden, people started reading their emails and paying attention to what's going on, and it's being varied. Questions are being asked, and I don't think that the point is disruption's not a bad thing necessarily. It should definitely make us think about what we're doing. Can we do things better? Can we leverage such a tool?
Anyways, this is the website and what it's doing that's revolutionizing many different industries. However, were they the first to do this? Did anybody else do this, and what happened to them? What if I told you both Microsoft and Meta tried to do this and they both flopped for different reasons? Microsoft did it with a company called Tay for 24 hours. This was like in 2015 or 2016. And it was all AI, generated content that's coming up, and it's doing it itself until all of a sudden the tweets went from being a good human being to being a white supremacist, literally calling out feminists within 24 hours.
The reality is, this is not a new thing, as just was mentioned, and development has been going on behind the scenes. Everybody's involved. Everybody's trying to get the leg up, as has been mentioned before on some of these, or at least I have mentioned it before. It's a winner take all. When you get there first, you're going to be able to set the bar, make the rules. You're going to have the business. You're going to have the control. That's part of what's going on. It's in some cases, some people just want to be the one that invented, that creation mode that we were talking about, being a creator, being the one. But in other cases, there's a lot of reasons, whether you're a government or some business, to want to be the first one there.
That project was over with for Microsoft. And Meta had a similar type of website called BlenderBot 3, but they had a challenge because a user asked a question about who won the election, and BlenderBot 3 claimed that Donald Trump won the election. Obviously, it was over from there. But now ChatGPT, what they've done the last few weeks has gone from $0 to $29 billion in valuation. So they're the ones so far that have been able to get it right the most. Doesn't mean they're not going to have any glitches, but so far, so good in the first few weeks. So what does this mean to everybody? To you, to me. To the consumer, it's just another cool tool to use. But to people involved in spaces like technology, copywriting, they're going to experience a lot of disruption. So that could be leading to unemployment, or it could lead to millions of new jobs being created, just like nobody thought some of these websites were being created. Oh my God, that thing's going to eliminate so many jobs. No, Google created jobs. YouTube created jobs rather than they created many different unique ways of making money. So advancement, innovation coming at a very, very fast pace. And by the way, this may not be the brick phone, but it could be the Nokia phone, okay, that we're talking about with advancement. This is definitely not at the level of the smartphone or the iPhone, so it's going to be very interesting where this AI goes to. We're definitely going into uncharted territories that we've not been in, which means get used to having to adapt and learn very, very quickly, and having to see things that we've never been used to before that can disrupt many different industries or help you grow your business to the next level.
And I appreciate the sort of disruption that can create. It does create challenges. It creates things like possible unemployment. Chat GPT's already, folks have said, create some code for me that does a certain thing. And so we're not just talking, this is beyond the blue collar worker losing their jobs to manufacturing. This is about creativity of a sort that we didn't think was possible. We would have conversations and, well, AI just isn't anywhere near being as creative as a human. Some of the advancements with Dall-E and then Chat GPT has proven that, or at least shown the possibilities of what it could be. All that aside, these tools are so powerful that as a society, we need to really start thinking about where it's going. I don't hear it in the public on specific forums that are sort of interested in this. For sure, everybody, and including this one, that's what we're doing on this channel is talking about AI. I appreciate your time. Again, hit the like and subscribe to this channel to be alerted when we have new releases, and share this video. But more than that, comment. Help us have a discussion, an open discussion about this. I want multiple perspectives. I have mine, but I want to hear from others. I want to know what y'all are thinking. And again, Chat GPT is doing the thinking for you. Just be honest. Add that to your comments. Thank you. Have a great day.